Hi, I'm Lynette, and welcome to another episode of I'm Not Buying It, where I talk about all the new makeup releases that I'm not gonna buy. If you like these types of videos, then please consider subscribing because I'm here every Saturday with makeup hauls, swatches, tutorials, and reviews. So let's get to all the stuff that I'm not buying. So I am going to talk about some new releases that I have flagged, most of them from Makeup Release Radar on Instagram. Any photos that I use, the accounts from which I got them will be in the description box below. So let's get started with Melt Cosmetics, and they're bringing back their Gemini palette, which I didn't realize had gone anywhere. And they're coming out with the Gemini 2 palette. It has 10 shades. It's $58. Because you know Melt is not cheap. And yeah, I'm not, I'm not interested in this. Those, and I'm talking about the Gemini 2 palette. That's it has a lot of shades in it, like what are those, like reddish corally shades that kind of look similar in the pan. I did see swatches. If I'm able to find a picture with swatches, I will include it here. But yeah, I feel like too many of the shades are in the same family, the same color family, and I don't feel like you're going to get very many different looks using this palette. It looks like it's going to be kind of one note. You do have that like grungy green yellow that looks similar to the one in the Gemini 1 palette, and then you have like this taupe shade, and I'm not sure if that's a green metallic, and I think there's two metallics. There's only two metallics in the palette, which, you know, I do like to have a palette that's a little more evenly split between mattes and metallics. But yeah, this color story just, it doesn't do it for me, so I'm not buying it. And then we have from Nomad Cosmetics. They have been sneak peeking shadows from their next palette, which is so annoying. Just show us the damn palette when you're ready, okay? Anywho, yeah, so there's 4 shadows here that they have shown, and it definitely looks like it's going to be a palette that's great for spring and summer. It's going to be available April 4th, which is soon, and you can use Radar 10 to get 10% off of it once it releases. And these are pretty. 2 metallics that they've shown, and the 2 mattes. That lime green matte, really pretty. That like lavender lilac matte, really pretty. I don't own anything from Nomad Cosmetics. Yeah, I don't have any palettes or any shadows from them. So who knows? This could be the one. This might be the one to change all of that. We'll have to see, though, once the whole palette has been revealed. But as of right now, yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I'm not going to put a hard I'm not buying it on it, but probably not. Wayne Goss is sneak peeking a new makeup product. Is it going to include anything that will work for skin tones deeper than tan? We'll see. And then we have Bare Minerals. They're coming out with their June. Oh no, it's available now at Sephora. $25 each. Their June Gen Nude Blonzer, Blush, and Bronzer. 3 shades: Kiss of Rose, Kiss of Pink, and Kiss of Copper. And they look pretty in the pan. I like that little design. I like the packaging where you can see. It's, you know, you can see through the compact and see the color. So that's pretty. But I feel like these shades we have seen before. I just feel like we have seen every blush and bronzer shade now that there is. Like, I don't think can they come out with any new ones? I don't know. I feel like anything that's going to actually work for people, it's going to be wearable for people, they've already done. So this does not interest me, and I won't be buying it, but let me know down below. Doesn't interest you? Do you think you'll be picking it up? Next up, we have from Dear ColourPop. They have a new makeup release that is available now, and it is their Extra Celestial Collection. 3 eyeshadow palettes and 6 lip glosses. So glassy lip glosses. And I have to say, I don't know, I think the palettes are pretty. Those top 2, those are pretty. Those metallic shades, those shades in the middle look interesting. And yeah, they're pretty. They're not anything that wows me or like is anything really different or new, in my opinion. So that makes it an easy pass for me, but I do think they're pretty. And the lip glosses look pretty too. A lot of neutral shades in there. Yeah, but I'm not buying it. Be Perfect Cosmetics, they have 3 9-pan palettes, 4 9-pan palettes coming out. And it is part of the Creativity Quad Shadow, the new compass of Creativity Quad Shadow Collection, Lord Jesus, by Be Perfect. And there's 4 palettes. They each contain 8 highly pigmented mattes and 1 complementing shimmer. So they're 9-pan palettes with only 1 shimmer in each. And these are reminiscent of the palettes that Beauty Bay just came out with. They came out with a whole bunch of palettes in different sizes and different like sort of monochromatic color themes, and these remind me of those. And so you have the North Nudes palette, which is a mixture of strong yellow and orange sunset shades with neutral brown earth tones. The East Emeralds palette, which of course is the one that's most interesting to me, is filled with deep green neutrals and unique forest hues. The South Smolders palette is a mix of vibrant pinks, deep plums, and a dazzling champagne shimmer. And then the West Waters palette is a blend of saturated purples and fresh blue shades. Each palette is $17.59, but you can buy the bundle all four for $48.95. And I wonder if these will be coming to Beauty Bay, because either or, Be Perfect, they will have sales. Beauty Bay will often have sales as well. Yeah, these are cute, but I kind of feel like, again, Beauty Bay just did this, and we've seen this before. So I'm not going to buy any of them, but the Be Perfect eyeshadow formula is one of my favorites. I do really enjoy their matte formula as well as their shimmer metallic formula. So you know, I just assume these are going to be nice. But yeah, I don't need them I don't feel like it's a need in my collection, so I'm not buying it. Dose of Colors, they have 2 palettes coming out, both neutral palettes. And they're both 5-pan palettes, and they're $32 each. And the first one we'll talk about is the Baked Browns 2 palette. And that one is an all matte palette, and it is cool toned neutral browns and taupey shades. And it's pretty. It's pretty. I like cool tone eyeshadows. And I prefer actually cool tone eyeshadows, especially when it comes to neutrals. I prefer cool tones. And so yeah, this is pretty. And then they have another one. And this one is the Golden Hour palette. And this one has 3 mattes and 2 shimmers. And yeah, this one is a little warmer. Again, neutral, but warmer neutrals, and this time 2 shimmers and instead of all mattes. And yeah, I mean, of the 2, the Baked Browns 2 would be the one I would be most interested in, but I'm not interested in either one. I have all of these colors in my collection already, and yeah, so this isn't going to do it for me. Again, another not exciting release that I don't think is going to be very memorable. Actually, as soon as I'm done talking about it, I'm not going to remember it. So yeah, this is an easy one that I'm not going to buy. Speaking of neutral palettes, Patrick Ta has a new eyeshadow palette coming out. Is it coming out or is it out? It is going to be out April 1st, so it may be out by the time you see it. It will be out by the time you see this video. And it's the Major Dimension 2 Rose Eyeshadow Palette for $68. And so it follows the same layout as his first palette, which was a warm, neutral, like brown palette, where it has 2 cream eyeshadows on the one end, and then the remaining top row are all shimmer metallics, and then the bottom row are all mattes. And this is pretty. This is pretty. I feel like this color story is just, I feel like it's just been done repeatedly. It reminds me, the first thing that came to mind was the Sigma Beauty Corda Rosa palette. It reminds me of that palette because that too is a warm brown palette, with coral palette. And this one is more mauve-y, but it's got those taupey brown mauve shades, and yeah, it's pretty. I could definitely see this as an everyday palette for a lot of people. For those people that don't like too much color, it's a very wearable palette, so it's really pretty. I'm not mad at the color story at all. And then he has his Major Dimension Precision Gel Liners. They're $26 a piece. And yeah, they're pretty neutral as well. There's 2 of them, a copper gold and then burgundy, which of course would go very nicely with this palette. But yeah, this doesn't do it for me. So this is an easy skip, but I can see that. I can already predict this is going to be a hit. People are going to love this. So, but I'm not buying it. Now, let's get away from neutrals and let's get to some color. And we got to talk about our girl Norvina from Anastasia Beverly Hills. She is coming out with, I think it's already available in Europe, the Norvina 6 palette. So I talked about Anastasia Beverly Hills in my Brands on the Bubble video. If you missed it, no worries. I'll link it here for your viewing pleasure. And you know, they seem to fall out of favor. Was it last year? They seemed to fall out of favor with folks, and Norvina was part of the problem. Aside from their many releases back to back to back, a lot of people weren't really digging the Norvina palette color stories. They were definitely a departure from the traditional classic Anastasia Beverly Hills color stories, which were much more neutral, much more everyday wearable. And Norvina was definitely a departure, a lot more colorful, a lot more bold, pressed pigments too. So yeah, so they kind of fell out of favor. She kind of fell out of favor with those. Now, in my opinion, she redeemed herself somewhat with the Norvina 5 palette, which is their purple palette, which is a gorgeous, beautiful palette that performs really well. So now we have Norvina 6, which already looks different from all the others before it with the packaging, because it's this galaxy theme. It's black. You have Saturn on the front with stars. So that's different. And then the inside, I mean, the palette itself, you know, it's the same big palette with a big old mirror. But the color story inside is definitely different as well. This one here is primarily a rainbow palette, primarily a matte rainbow palette, although there are what appears to be 4 shimmers at the top row. You have the white matte, but the one next to the white looks to be a pressed glitter, which she seems to like to do in her palettes. And then the other three appear to be metallics. And then you have the rest are all matte, like rainbow shades. I do like that the bottom row are deep, dark mattes, because this will give you a little more versatility than your average rainbow palette. You'll be able to smoke out looks. You'll be able to add some real depth with those really deep matte shades at the bottom. So I like this palette. I like the color story. I like the setup with the dark mattes along with the bright mattes. I like that there are some shimmers in the palette. And the setup kind of reminds me a little bit of the Blend Bunny Surge palette, where you have a row of shimmers and she always has like a row of deep dark mattes. And yeah, but I'm not mad at this. I'm really not. Some people I've seen comments, some people have commented where they say it looks like she's taking shades from all of the other palettes and put them into this one. And I could see that. I could see where I could see that. But yeah, I think it's nice. It'll be interesting to see how this palette is received, if people will be buying it. For me, it's an easy skip. I'm not going to buy it because I have my Blend Bunny Blends palette, which is an all matte rainbow palette. I have my Viseart Bright Edits palette, which is an all matte rainbow palette. And I have my Beauty Bay 42 color bright matte palette, an all matte rainbow palette. So I have enough rainbow palettes in my collection that I don't need this one, as pretty as it is. So I will be passing on it. And yeah, it's $60. It's $60. I think is it in the US yet? It might be. I don't know. By the time you see this video, it might be. But it's yeah, it's $60. Dominique Cosmetics has a new eyeshadow palette that was recently released. It is the Moment palette. It has 10 shades. It's vegan and cruelty free. And I do like the packaging. I love the blue. It's really pretty. Seems really calming and serene and tropical even. Makes me think of Caribbean waters. But then you open the palette, and aside from the two blue shadows and the one that looks like a purpley type shade, the rest of the palette is just a boring neutral palette. So I feel like the packaging is a little deceiving, because if you take out those three shadows, all you have left are like a warm neutral palette that we've seen before, I feel like, from Dominique. I don't have any palettes from Dominique, but yeah, this to me it's just not interesting. It's just not interesting. I've heard mixed reviews about her formula, and yeah, I will not be buying this. I don't know what the price is, but she's not cheap. But yeah, this one is an easy skip for me. I'm not buying it. Fenty Beauty has a new release. It is their Sunstalker Bronze and Highlight Palette. It's curated with their transfer-resistant creamy powder Sunstalker bronzers and two new silky smooth highlighters. Use it to add dimension and glow to your eyes and face anytime, anywhere, any occasion for $48. And so it looks like it's just 1, 2, 3, 4. It looks like there are 5 bronzers that are already available individually, all in one palette now. And then you have 2 highlighting shades. Yes. So these bronzers are already ones that they sell individually in individual compacts. And now you can get them all in one palette. And I'm not sure how I feel about that. Like, I mean, maybe if there were 2 bronzers that you wanted. So let's say, for example, I have Coco Naughty, and that's the one that works for me in the winter and the cooler months. And then I need something deeper for the summer months. But Thick Mint, which is the deepest one I believe that Fenty sells, which is in this palette, is too red for my taste. So I have another bronzer that I use in the summertime. So, and the highlighters, only one looks like it would work on my skin tone, and that would be the gold one, Gold Card. So unless you want one of these highlighters and you want two of the bronzers, one that you can use in the summer, one that you can use, you know, when you're not tanned in the winter, I don't see why you would need this palette, why anyone would need this palette. Yeah, so let me know in the comments your thoughts about this. This is interesting. This is interesting. Not quite sure how I feel about it. But yeah, I mean, I guess if you wanted two of the bronzers and the highlighter, then this would be a good buy. And I don't know, have we seen this from a brand before where they've taken several of their individually sold items, products, and put them all together in a palette? Or is it usually done the other way around? Like they'll have something they've sold only as a palette and then they'll make it available as individuals. So yeah, it's a little odd. I don't know. It's a little odd to me. But you let me know in the comments below what you think about this. As for me, I'm not buying it. Benefit Cosmetics, they are releasing, I wonder why it took so long. They're releasing their Bad Gal Bang mascara in a waterproof formula. Waterproof, smudge proof in black for $27. It's available now. And yeah, I wonder why it took so long. But the original, the Bad Gal Bang original mascara, I really like. It's definitely lengthening. It gives you volume. I like that mascara. Waterproof mascaras, I never seem to like. For some reason, whatever it is that they do to it to make it waterproof is different from the original. And I never like it as much as the original. But I'm not going to buy it. I don't buy the original because it's $27 and I don't spend that much money on mascaras. So I won't be buying the waterproof either. And then I want to mention Luxie Beauty. Luxie Beauty is an indie brand. They've been around now for a long time. And they have released these look like dual chrome eyeshadows. And they're all metallic. And the reason why I want to mention Luxie is because their price point is so cheap. So it's 10 new single eyeshadows and they're $3 each and $30 for the bundle. And I mean, you cannot beat that. I'm sorry, you cannot. Let me know if you can. Tell me in the comments. Let me know, because I don't know anywhere else you're going to beat this. Dual chromes. Now, the swatches, I don't know if they had to build them up or not. I do have some Luxie Beauty singles in my collection that I bought many years ago. One of them is like gorgeous. One of my absolute favorites in my collection. And I used it not that long ago. And it still worked beautifully. Some of them are hits, some of them are misses, but for $3, I mean, even if it's a miss, you're not out too much money. And yeah, I think, and some of these are just really pretty. Like that one is like a champagne yellow pink to purple. Like, hello, really, really nice. Yeah, they're all beautiful, all beautiful. So I wanted to bring that to your attention. Not that I'm encouraging you to buy or spend money, but you know, I feel like that's a great deal. If they're good shadows, I needed to let you know. All right, I needed to let you know. What you do with the information is on you. I was not expecting this video to be this long, but here we are. Menagerie Cosmetics, they have the Sugar High collection that is going to be available on April 9th. And it includes an eyeshadow palette for $45, 3 Ulti Chromes for $18 each, 3 liquid lipsticks for $14.95. Best Buds Glow Blush for $18. Lavender Fluff and Hawaiian Punch Barn Whips for $15 each. Sugar Glider and Seal Pup Hollow Keychains. So they got a lot going on. The 3 liquid lipsticks, those are pretty. Warm Fuzzers, Kiwi, and Barkeology. Those are cute, but I think those for me will work better as matte eyeshadows than liquid lipsticks. I mean, yeah, that green one is way outside my comfort zone, but let's talk about the eyeshadow palette, okay? This palette, now, lately, I shouldn't even say lately. Okay, maybe lately I've been noticing how brands, you'll see a palette, different pictures and different lighting with different effects. You know, some of them you can tell they've turned up the contrast on them, and then you'll see a photo in more natural light or another lighting in studio like photo, and it looks completely different, doesn't look as saturated. So I don't know if any tricks were used for this photo, but from this photo, and I haven't seen any swatches, from the photo, this palette, those metallics look gorgeous, okay? Absolutely gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. Y'all. Now, do I have all of those metallic shades in my collection already? I think I do. I think I do. And the mattes, some of those look kind of pastel-y, like that blue and that lilac one look kind of bad, and that yellow, light yellow one kind of look pastel-y. And then the orange, you know, I have orange. I have the berry tone, strawberry color there. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful palette from what we can see. You can't quite see the whole palette, but it's a beautiful palette. It looks like it's a flying squirrel on the front of it because, you know, they love their animals. They have an animal theme going on, so that looks like a flying squirrel on the front. Yeah, the palette looks really fun. Looks like it's going to be great for summer and spring, but looks like shadows I already have. I think I have one palette from Menagerie. I think it was the Violent Ink palette, and I was not a fan of the mattes. So yeah, this palette isn't. I was gonna say an easy palette. I'm not gonna say easy, but I'm not gonna be buying it. I'm really not checking for it. I'm not gonna be buying it, although it is beautiful. And then those 3 Ulti Chromes for $18 each: Arc, Ember, and Biome or Biome. I don't know, but those are really pretty. But between all my Davina and Cleona and all those multi-chromes I already own, I'm pretty sure I can dupe these in my existing collection. And I really don't like paying $18 for single eyeshadows. I know multi-chromes apparently are expensive to make, but $18, I'm just not comfortable with that. I'm not comfortable with that price. So that's an easy pass for me. I'm not going to be buying any of this. None of it. Tarte Cosmetics. I can't believe I'm talking about Tarte, but here I am. Tarte Cosmetics. They have their Rainforest Temptations. It's a whole collection that's available now at Ulta. There's lip gloss, there's a brush set, and then there's their eye and cheek palette. So let's start with the eye and cheek palette. That's a big old yawn for me. I mean, it's pretty, it's warm, it's cute, but I'm just not interested. Like, these colors and this color story is just nothing new. And then the lip gloss snakes, I just can't get down with snakes. So this packaging is no. It's just a no. And the color of the lip gloss is right up my alley because I love me some pink lip gloss for some reason. But even if I wanted the lip gloss, I wouldn't get it because of that snake wrapped around it. Ew. And then those brushes, more snakes, and they look like Wet n Wild brushes, like cheap. So No, this is all a no, which doesn't surprise me at all because I can't remember the last time I bought anything from Tarte. Makeup Forever. Did we just talk about Makeup Forever? I feel like we did. They have some new releases coming out here in July. They're already available now in Europe. And it's their new Artist Color Pro palettes. And they feature eyeshadows and a universal highlighter, pro-crafted to be effortless and approachable. And I definitely feel like they are approachable because they're all three of them, in my opinion, are very neutral. And only one of them, the one with the orange, looks like that would be the only one where the highlighter might work for my skin tone. But yeah, these there looks to be a mixture of mattes, yes, of mattes and metallics. It's been a long time since I bought any eyeshadows from Makeup Forever. I feel like it's been a long time since they released any either. And from what I remember, they forever changing their formulas, so it may have changed since the last time I purchased any. But from what I remember, the mattes were impeccable, but the shimmers, were not impactful. Got hard pan the first time I used them, and yeah, I was not impressed with their shimmer formula at all. Again, long time since I bought any from them, so maybe that's changed. So just based on that, and on the fact that these color stories do absolutely nothing for me, I will not be buying any of these. Iconic London. They have a new 7-shade palette out now for $49. And I don't own anything from Iconic London, but for some reason I thought they were an affordable brand, like on par with like Makeup Revolution, but I guess not, because this palette only has 7 eyeshadows in it and they want $49 for it. So Makeup Revolution, they are not. I do like the packaging. It looks sleek. It looks, it looks expensive because it is. And the color story is pretty as well. It looks like it has only one matte shade and the rest appear to be metallics. And, it's a warm, neutral color story. Did I tell you what it's called? It's the Multi-Icon Eyeshadow Palette. So yeah, it's got a couple of cooler shades near the end, that pink frost and the clear quartz on the far end of the right side of the palette. But yeah, for the most part, it's like a warm neutral palette. Again, another like wearable everyday palette that I think will appeal to the masses. But I think 7 shadows for $49 is a lot of money. Or am I just being cheap? Because sometimes I'm in a cheap phase where yeah. So is it just me? Am I just being cheap, or is $49 for 7 eyeshadows a bit pricey? You let me know what you think. I won't be buying it though. $49 or not, it's not my color story, and I won't be buying it. And then I did want to talk about a brand that I've never heard of before, but they have collabed with Doodles by the Bunny, and she is someone on Instagram that does a lot of fake mock-ups of color stories for palettes that, ABH will come out with a palette and then she'll do a fake mock-up of what it should have looked like. So she's collabed once again with a brand by the name of Impress Me. Let's try that again. Impress Me Cosmetics. And yeah, so it's the Doodles by the Bunny times Impress Me, and it's really Impress, right? Impress Me. I don't like these like cute play on name type things. Like I don't like that. Anyway, the palette is a colorful palette. It's the Colors of the World eyeshadow palette. It has 15 shades in it, 6 soft velvety mattes, 4 creamy shimmers, 2 multi-tone shimmers, and 3 mattes with sparkle. And I have to say, I think I like the packaging. First off, I do like the packaging. I like that teal. I like the little puzzle, different colored puzzle pieces of the world. I mean, I think the packaging is cute. And I also like the color story. I think it's perfect. We're now getting into spring. We're going into summer. And we are in spring. You can't tell from the weather out here on the East Coast that we're in the spring. But yes. And I think this is a perfect color story for this time of the year. I don't know. Again, I don't know anything about this brand. I don't know anything about the formula. If you do, if you're familiar with them, please let me know in the comments. But I also don't know the price. It's going to be made available in April. I don't have a date of when in April, but yeah, I think the color story is really pretty. I don't care for mattes with sparkles in them, like make it a metallic or make it a matte. Don't do that. Don't do anything in between. But yeah, the color story is pretty. But again, it's another colorful type palette that I feel like I already have all of these colors in my collection already, so I won't be buying it either. Let me know in the comments, were any of the things I talked about today items that maybe you have your eye on and you're thinking about buying, or was it all just one big meh? And are there any items or products I didn't talk about that you're thinking about buying? Let me know down below. If you liked this video, please give it a like and share it with another fellow makeup lover in your life. I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope to see you again next week. Until then, bye-bye.